Hello everyone, let us start types of poetry. Diamante Poems. Line 1, one word, subject or noun that is contrasting to line 7. Line 2, two words, adjectives that describe line 1. 3 words, action verbs that relate to line 1. Line 4, 4 words, nouns. First 2 words relate to line 1, last 2 words relate to line 7. Then comes line 5, having 3 words, that is action words that relate to line 7. Line 6, 2 words, adjectives that describe line 7. Line 7, 1 word, subject or noun that is contrasting to line 1. Diamante poems एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं. स्क्वायर, symmetrical, conventional, shaping, measuring, balancing, boxes, rooms, clocks, hellos, and so more. Next type of poetry is haiku. Haiku is a 3-line unrhymed nature poem of 17 syllables, divided so that the first and third lines have 5 syllables each and the middle line has 7 syllables. Haiku poetry originated in Japan. An essential element of haiku is that a season or something that indicates a specific season must be mentioned. The next type of poetry is limerick. A limerick is a 5-line jingle whose purpose is humor. It usually has an AABBA rhyme scheme with the first, second, and fifth lines either anapestic or amphibrach trimeter and the third and fourth lines of anapestic diameter. For example, there once was a lady from Niger who smiled as she rode on the tiger. They returned from the ride with the lady inside and the smile on the face of the tiger. Concrete poems. In concrete poems, the words are arranged to create a picture that relates to the content of the poem. Poetry is like flames, which are swift and elusive, dodging realization sparks like words on the paper, leap and dance in the flickering firelight, the fairy tongues, formless and shifting shapes, the imagination. Yet for those who see through their mind's eye, they burn up the page. Blank verse, written in lines of iambic pentameter but does not use end rhyme. Example, cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that man should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. Free verse. Free verse is just what it says it is. Poetry that is written without proper rules about form, rhyme, rhythm, meter, etc. Free verse poetry is very conversational, sounds like someone talking with you, a more modern type of poetry. Epic. An epic is a book-length narrative poem about a single hero or group of people. Examples, Homer's Iliad is an epic about the Trojan War. Longfellow's Evangelion is another example of an epic. Narrative poetry, a poem that tells a story, generally longer than the lyric styles of poetry, because the poet needs to establish characters and a plot. Examples of narrative poems, The Raven, The Highwayman, Casey at the Bat, The Walrus, and The Carpenter. Shakespearean Sonnet, a 14-line poem with a specific rhyme scheme. The poem is written in 3 quatrains and ends with a couplet. The rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day is its very good example. And other sonnets written by Shakespeare are also examples of Shakespearean sonnet. Examples of sonnets more are Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, or Elizabeth Barrett Browning's Sonnet, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways. Specific features of sonnets are, sonnets use 14 lines to develop a theme. Each set of 4 lines is called a quatrain and the last part is a couplet. The first quatrain states the theme. The second quatrain develops the theme. The third quatrain develops the theme or expresses conflict. The couplet unifies the whole and provides the climax. Lyric poetry. Lyric poetry is one of the broad divisions of poetry. They are based on the personal thoughts and feelings of the author. They have a musical quality to them. They include a wide variety of patterns, including sonnets, odes, and elegies. Ballads. Famous ballads include Henry Wordsworth Longfellow's The Wreck of Hesperus and his Paul Revere's Ride. Tanka. The Tanka poem is very similar to haiku, but Tanka poems have more syllables and it uses simile, metaphor, and personification. It consists of 5 lines for a total of 31 syllables. The syllables per line are according to the pattern 5-7-5-7-7. Ballads. A ballad is a type of lyric poem that tells a story about a famous person or event. Originally, ballads were written to be sung like song lyrics. Ballads usually feature a refrain, which is a repeated phrase or idea. In most cases, ballads contain a specific rhyme pattern, ABAB or AABB, but may also be arranged in the free verse form. Ode. An ode is a lengthy lyrical poem of praise. An ode may have any rhyme scheme, rhythm pattern, or stanza pattern. Examples: Ode to Duty by William Wordsworth, Ode to a Skylark by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Elegy. An elegy is a poem of mourning that is written in memory of someone. The mood of an elegy is usually somber. It may have any rhyme scheme, rhythm pattern, or stanza pattern. Example: O Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman, written for President Abraham Lincoln. Parody. Parody poetry is based on a poem that is well known, that mimic of its rhythm, rhyme scheme, or phraseology is immediately recognized. The topic may be totally different from the original poem, or it may have a different view or slant on the same topic. Example: It was the night before Christmas, and all through the flat not a creature was stirring, not even a rat. What is the difference between prose and poetry? What is poetry? The word poetry comes from the ancient Greek word poio, which means I create. Poetry is written in lines or stanzas which may or may not contain complete sentences. Poetry is usually shorter than prose. Words and lines in poetry have more rhythm than prose, and there is sometimes rhyme in poetry. What is prose? Prose is writing or speaking that is done in an ordinary form using sentences and paragraphs.